I'm Jon Grundvig. Along with Jason King and Zach Bjordy, I was one of the original writers of the screenplay, and was also one of the directors, and I was pretty much the primary location scout. And I also played the druid.
Hey hoo hi hoo hum do pum de gee. Shehi hey hoo hi hoo hum do pum de gee.
How's it going? Hey, what's up? Oh! So, nice night for a sacrifice, huh? 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 What's the greatest movie we've ever made? And I don't know, it's an independent film, but it's a lot more than that. For me, it was, well, it was a big part of like my young adulthood. I mean, really, if I think of like my early 20s, just like some of our previous movies are a big part of my teen years, this will always be something I'll remember from my early 20s as one of my, main accomplishments in my early 20s single life before more important, worldly matters came into play. And it is the greatest movie of all time, bar none. The basic plot is, it's a comedy, but the main dramatic point is it's a quest of two young guys trying to get home. But I think in addition to that, there's like a subplot about realizing like your true potential and your true calling in life that they kind of figure out. I mean, Thomas especially, later on, like through the course of the movie, they figure out that their choices are not just for themselves, but they have a greater purpose as well. I really like the location scouting. I mean, I did a lot of that, a lot of driving around, looking at different places, looking up, cool locations online, and it was really neat to see them in the final production of the movie, because a lot of the compliments I've heard from people who have seen it were based on like the scenery. I mean, just as much as like the editing, the acting, and the story and everything else, I've got lots of compliments on the settings and our background locations and all that. That's, I think, makes it look really professional, more so than most amateur films that don't really have a lot of settings and stuff to go with. So there's a few scenes that I think we could all say were really, really unfun to film. Some were filmed in July when it was like 104 degrees and we were wearing multiple layers of clothing and doing lots of physical exertion, and it was almost to the point of passing out. But the worst one by far had to be the dragging the boat across the beach of Antelope Island. We just strapped it to us like a bunch of pack mules, and yeah, I went to town dragging that thing a mile or so, and then back, and then Jason gave the boat away, making the entire thing a complete waste of time. The only salvaging point of that whole effort is that the final scene, when it was all edited, ended up looking really, really good, and it's one of my favorite scenes. There's a few. I already mentioned the boatman scene, because that scene looks really good, and I love the Norman costume. I would wear that day and night if it was socially acceptable to do so. So that's one of them. And then the Zombieville night scene, just because zombies are just that cool. They make every scene better. There's not a single movie that would not be better if there was a zombie scene in the middle of it. But as far as like pure comedic value, you can't beat the Green Dude Bridge fight scene. I mean, to have like basically like a warrior in training fighting this gelatinous thing with no arms and slapping him around with the sound effects added in, it's comedy gold. I love that scene. I laugh every single time I see it. I'm gonna have to go with Bruno.
I'm scared of crows.
Because he had a lot of the he stole like every scene he was in, which was like most of them. He had a lot of the best lines, the best reactions. I mean, like the mushroom scenes.
Oh, I'm dizzy. Uh-oh. Hey! Wait up, guys!
And Adam Boswell just played him so perfectly. He was Bruno. You couldn't replace him with any other actor. And he stole so many of the scenes and just made it, just basically, he was the driving force of the comedy behind it, I thought. And he was a perfect balance to Chris, who was pretty much the dramatic centerpiece of the film.
You want some?
Ah, Bruno, man.
I think just all the time and effort and work that everyone put into it. I mean, it took us like a year and a half, almost 2 years from the time probably over 2 years from the time we started writing it to the time we finally premiered it. And then when the premiere happened, I mean, that's something I'll always remember. We invited family and friends and had a whole bunch of people, and just to see all our effort on, I guess, the big screen, it all came together so perfectly. We knew instantly it was all worth the time that we put into it.